I'm going to speak now to Barbara Scanlon, who is the spokesperson for the Alliance of Birth Mothers Campaign for Justice. Barbara, you're very welcome to Centre Ground.
Anna, thank you for having
me. Barbara, we watched that pre-recorded interview with Mary, and I suppose there's several issues raised by that interview. First of all, she was a woman who was pregnant, and she didn't have the support of her partner, and she didn't have family support. That left her very vulnerable. When her baby was born, there was the issues around breastfeeding. There's the ongoing issue of access to her baby. Are these issues common to the other mothers that you're dealing with in the Alliance of Birth Mothers Campaigning for Justice?
Yes, Anna, Mary's story rings every day on the phone. I suppose it's very, very sad, harrowing to listen to. And I suppose the very sad thing is, if you listen to Mary's story, she's very alone. From listening to that, no legal representation, had just broken up with her partner. I don't know, does she have family to support her? But Tusla seem to pick on single parents that are on their own, that have no support, and they coerce them. They coerce them either to sign their children into voluntary care, or if they don't do that, they go to court and get an emergency care order. Now, the other thing is, Tusla, breast is best, they'll tell you. Well, the mothers are telling me at all costs they've never been allowed to breastfeed their kids, which is absolutely appalling. And yes, Annie, you were right when you said it years ago when this happened in the mother and baby homes, people claimed ignorance. But everybody knows what's happening now. But nobody's willing to stand up and do the right thing. And the TDs and the Dáil are telling everybody last week, we won't give the files we shouldn't give the files of the mother and baby homes to Tusla, but they're allowed to look after the children of Ireland. That doesn't make sense.
That's a very interesting point, Barbara. Yes, there was a huge furore created about handing over files to Tusla. Catherine Connolly and Kathleen Funchal, Holly Cairns, outstanding in their contribution to the whole issue of the mother and baby homes, and it was repeated over and over that the files shouldn't be handed over to Tusla, that it was a completely discredited body. And as you say there, Barbara, yet there isn't an outcry about the children of the nation being under the care of Tusla, which is really, really scary. Tell me a little bit about the reunification plans that mothers have.
Okay, so first of all, any child that's in care, it's law that they have a reunification plan. And the judges are telling the mothers that every child should have one. So for the children that do have one, and for them to come home to their mothers, it's like a box ticking exercise. They will give the mother a list of stuff they have to do. And unfortunately, what happens is when they're on the last week, two things happen. Either they get a new reunification plan, or the second thing is a new social worker will arrive. And when a new social worker arrives, really she goes back to the start to the case, and it throws the reunification plan back by months. A lot of children in care don't have a reunification plan. So for these mothers, even though they're putting in the work, they're doing everything they're asked, they're still on and not getting their children home.
I know that in recent days, I've been speaking about the whole issue of mother and baby homes, and quite a number of people are actually surprised to discover that the mother and baby homes never went away. They're very much with us.
They're very much with us, yeah. So there's a couple, isn't there, in Ireland? Bessborough probably would be the biggest one in Cork. And yes. There's another one in Dublin. And lots of mothers will go to these mother and baby homes. Obviously, a social worker, Tusla, need to refer you there. You go to the mother and baby home, you'll do lots of courses. And for some mothers, they do get to keep their kids. And Bessborough, I have to say, do some amazing work. Absolutely do some amazing work. But for some mothers that really want to go to mother and baby homes and beg and plead, they just won't give them a referral. So it's very dependent on who your social worker is.
And the other thing that we have discovered recently is that Tusla are actually sending mothers and their children outside of the jurisdiction to mother and baby homes in the UK.
Yes. There's Northern Ireland and to the UK, yes.
Which is quite surprising. Barbara, tell me a little bit about the complaints procedure that mothers can avail of if they have difficulties with Tusla or their social workers.
So the complaints procedure that Tusla has set up is called Tell Us. And it is very fitting, and it's a great word, Tell Us, because you put in your complaint, and when it goes into Tell Us, it goes back to the particular person I've complained about for them to deal with it. So if it's a social worker, the complaint goes right back to the social worker to deal with it. So unfortunately, what happens is if a mother complains about a social worker, it can be anything, her access immediately is cut. The social worker will know that she has complained, her access is cut, and just absolutely, it's shocking. And to be honest, for us, and I have to say this, that I've ever come across, that if you fail miserably in your job and you do the worst of things, you actually get promoted. So what happened to people in the Grace case? What happened to people with Maurice McCabe? They've all been promoted in Tusla. No other organisation will do that. And that's the organisation that are looking after the children of Ireland. They need to be closed, Anna.
Yes, it's I suppose, a really, really, really difficult issue. And I suppose the thing that goes very deep into my heart is that when mothers have their babies taken from them, there's absolutely no supports for them. We learned recently through a question that Deputy Kathleen Funchlan placed with the Minister for Children, we learned that 123 children under the age of 1 year old were removed from their mothers last year in 2019. And Tusla will actually say that they are there to support the welfare of the child, but there's actually nobody there to support the welfare of the mother. And we know from talking to mothers in the Alliance of Birth Mothers Campaigning for Justice that when Tusla go into court and get that emergency care order to remove the baby from the mother when they're in the maternity hospital, the mother is then discharged and there is absolutely no support for that grieving mother. And we see it there in the case of Mary. Her baby now is well over a year old and there is absolutely no supports for her. She's been gaslit. She was gaslit in the hospital when she complained about the pain in her back. She was gaslit in the mother and baby home and she was told that she had psychiatric and mental illnesses. When she went to her doctor then, when she left the mother and baby home, he too told her that she was mentally ill. So it's really, really, really appalling that we're now in the 21st century and babies are being removed from mothers in the same way as they were in the days of old. I suppose all the spotlight has been on the nuns and there has been no spotlight put on the state, because what happened in the mother and baby homes couldn't actually happen without the agencies of the state also being involved. And the same thing is happening today. The same agents of the state, the Gardaí, the family law courts, and what is now Tusla, the Child and Family Agency, are involved in this state abuse. But no supports whatsoever for the mothers, and I'm sure no supports either for the children that are traumatised by being separated from their mothers. Would you like to comment on that, Barbara?
Yeah, I just feel these mothers are very alone. I don't understand how to separate mothers from their children. Why can't they put supports in place? Why can't they put community supports in place? And you know, and when they do separate them, they give them 1 hour a week access. Sure, no parent could keep a bond with a child 1 hour a week. That's totally unacceptable. And you know, I really don't understand what they're trying to do here. It's supposed to be, yes, you know, for the best of the child, but to see your parent for 1 hour a week, and that's totally unacceptable. It's, you know, things really need to change. And I do believe the people of Ireland need to stand up. It's going on with years, the mother and baby homes many, many years ago, and nothing has changed. Absolutely nothing has changed. And in another 100 years, we'll be roaring about the files of these mothers. It's too late. Things need to change now.
Okay, so that is a very good point on which to end. Just to repeat it, you're saying that if we don't do something about what is actually happening now, in years to come, we'll be having a similar conversation that we're having around the historic abuse of birth mothers and their children in the mother and baby homes. Thank you so much, Barbara, for joining us.